Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to DCTV USA. I am Tabinda Gul. Let's take a look at the headlines. Tension escalate after Pahalgam attack. India-Pakistan standoff deepens. US State Department silent on India-Pakistan tension after Pahalgam attack. India admits security lapses ahead of Pahalgam attack. Political unity emerges against Pakistan. Apple races to shift iPhone productions to India, aimed China tariff pressure. China eases tariffs on US goods but dismisses Trump's stock claim. Canada head to the polls April 28 as Carney Poilievre battle for power. China eases some tariff on US goods, rejects Trump's stocks claim. Trump envoy meets Putin in Moscow as US pushes Ukraine peace plan. And violinist Esther Abrami shines a spotlight on female composer with next album Women. These are headlines, lead to news detail. Now the top story is here. 3 days after the deadly terror attack in Pahalgam, tension between India and Pakistan are reaching a boiling point. In a sharp escalation, Pakistan has violated the ceasefire along the line of control and has now closed its airspace to Indian aircraft. Fuel reserves are being rapidly stockpiled and both nations have placed their military forces on high alert. Islamabad has accused New Delhi of waging what it calls water warfare and a low-intensity war following India's suspensions of the Indus Waters Treaty, a move Pakistan described as a serious provocation. On the ground, Indian security forces have intensified their crackdown, hunting down those behind the Pahalgam attack. Explosions were reported in Pulwama as operations targeted the suspect's home. With rhetoric growing harsher on both sides and no signs of diplomatic de-escalation, the region teeters on the edge of wider conflict. Tensions remain dangerously high. The United States has chosen to remain tight-lipped on the rising tensions between India and Pakistan days after the devastating terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir's Pahalgam that left 26 people dead. During a press briefing, US State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce was questioned by a Pakistani journalist about Washington's positions on the escalating border situation. However, Bruce avoided a direct response and reiterated previously issued remarks, effectively shunning the query. This comes in the wake of a brutal assault on April 22 when armed terrorists opened fire on a group of tourists in Pahalgam. The attack has not only drawn global tensions but has also intensified hostilities between the two nuclear arms neighbors. As the international community watches closely, Washington's silence raises questions about its diplomatic stance, growing instability in South Asia.
Neurological care is a pressing healthcare challenge in Pakistan. That's why Helping Hand USA is building Kind R, a world-class hospital with 130-plus clinics that is set to establish new standards for neurological care in Pakistan. As the first phase nears completion, anticipation is growing for the launch in the second half of 2025. Give zakat and sadaqah through Helping Hand USA today and join this historic endeavor to redefine future healthcare in Pakistan.
In a significant development, the Indian government has reportedly acknowledged security lapses that may have contributed to the deadly terror attack in Pahalgam, Kashmir. The admissions came during an all-party meeting held on Wednesday in New Delhi. Despite the political divide, opposition parties joined the government in a united front, strongly condemning the attack and pledging full support for any firm response against Pakistan. The rare show of unity underscores the gravity of the situation as the nation continues to mourn the loss of 26 innocent lives. The acknowledgement of lapses has intensified pressures on security agencies even as operations continue to track down those responsible for the April 22nd assault. The political consensus sent a strong signal as tension with Pakistan escalate. Tech giant Apple is holding urgent discussions with its key manufacturing partners Foxconn and Tata to accelerate the productions of US-bound iPhones in India. The move is seen as a strategic shift aimed at reducing reliance on China and navigating mounting tariff challenges. Currently, about 80% of the 60 million iPhones sold annually in the United States are manufactured in China, but with geopolitical tension and trade barrier rising, Apple is fast-tracking plans to diversify its supply chain. If successful, the move could mark a major milestone in India's emergence as a global electronics manufacturing hub while reshaping the future of Apple's production strategy. In a potential sign of de-escalation, China has announced tariff exemption on certain US imports, raising hopes that the long-running trade war between the world's two largest economies could be softening. However, the optimism was short-lived. Beijing quickly dismissed US President Donald Trump's claim that negotiations were underway, making it clear that no formal talks have resumed. The mixed signal reflects the ongoing complexity of US-China trade relations. While the tariff relief may offer temporary relief to some American exporters, a broader resolutions remain uncertain as both sides continue to assert competing narratives. Canadians are set to vote on April 28 in a high-stake federal elections that could reshape the country's political future. The contest is reshaping up to be a tight race between Liberal leader Mark Carney and Conservative fortuner Pierre Poilievre, with Carney holding a narrow lead in recent poll. The election unfolded against a backdrop of growing tension with the United States, fueled by President Donald Trump's tariff and controversial remarks suggesting the annexations of Canadian territory, comments that have stirred national outrage and political debate. With economic concern and national sovereignty on voters' mind, this election is being closely watched both at home and abroad. China has granted tariff exemptions on select US imports, offering a rare glimmer of hope that trade tension between the world's two largest economies might be easing. The move is being viewed as a cautious step toward de-escalation in the ongoing trade war. However, optimism was swiftly tempered. Beijing promptly dismissed US President Donald Trump's assertions that negotiations were underway, stating that no formal talks have resumed. The conflicting messages reflect the fragile and uncertain state of US-China trade relations, even as economic pressure mounts on both sides. Now, in a significant diplomatic development, US President Donald Trump envoy Steve Witkoff met with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow to discuss Washington's latest proposal to end the war in Ukraine. According to the Kremlin, the two-side positions have moved closer, signaling a possible thaw in relationship and renewed momentum towards a negotiated settlement. While details of the US peace plan remain under wraps, the meeting marks a rare moment of engagement aimed at a conflict that has gripped Eastern Europe for more than 2 years. Observers are watching closely to see whether this new push can translate into meaningful progress on the ground. In the last, award-winning French violinist Esther Abrami is making waves with her latest album Woman, a powerful tribute to female composers past and present. The album features work by 14 women, including Oscar winners Rachel Portman and Anne Dudley, as well as pioneers include. Abrami project aims to elevate the often overlooked contributions of women in classical music, blending modern and historical voices in compelling musical journey. With Women, Esther Abrami not only delivers a rich, diverse listening experience, but also sends a clear message about representations and recognitions in the world of classical music. So thank you for watching and thank you for supporting. This is me, Tabinder, signing off. Stay tuned for more news. DCTV USA, DTV, and another OTT platform, DTV Flix, where you can access to over 3,000 channels. So stay tuned and stay with us.
You came to this country for a brighter future for you and your loved ones. You've made it this far. Now it's time to become a citizen. With citizenship, you gain the right to vote, access to federal jobs, the ability to keep your family closer, and the freedom to travel with a U.S. passport. These are just a few of the benefits waiting for you when you become eligible. We're here to help you through the process with free resources and personalized guidance. Together, we can make it easier. Get started at becomeacitizentoday.com.